private news outlets have recently been accused of intentionally spreading misinformation known as fake news. However, contemporary debates on the credibility of modern news often fail to consider the private news outlets' ability to subtly influence the public's reactions to national events. As a result, the power of private media to not only choose which stories are broadcasted, but provide each event a specific emotional connotation is not recognized by the general public. Although independent news media may appear to embody free speech, the privatization of news media is dangerous for society because the news outlets' ulterior motives cause them to subtly manipulate the public on a national scale. While a separation between government and the news appears to allow citizens to freely criticize their leaders, the ulterior motives of private media are a dangerous drawback. Supporters of private news media cite the lack of free speech in nations where the government has complete control over the news. The most prominent example is North Korea, whose leader Kim Jong-un suppresses dissent in the media and has complete control over the information consumed by the public. Although authoritarian nations such as North Korea are an important warning against absolute government control over the news, citing such an extreme example hides the ulterior motive of private news outlets: profit. It is obvious that these outlets intend to make money, but the vast lucrative potential of the news market is not always as clear. On average, a 30-second national TV advertisement produces $115,000 of revenue. Since news broadcasters average nearly 15 minutes of advertisements per hour, these outlets make nearly $3.5 million from advertisements per hour. Similar to sitcoms, movies, and social media companies, private news outlets make money from ensuring we are engaged, not from ensuring we are informed. Their viewership is their top priority, making sure that consumers are willing to sit through commercials in order to continue watching their content. As a result of these monetary motives, private news outlets have sensationalized specific events, dangerously manipulating the public on a national scale. A guide to news writing published by George Mason University highlights 6 values a journalist must consider when deciding what constitutes an effective news story, 3 of which are uniqueness, conflict, and the popularity of those involved, suggesting a desire to entertain rather than inform. As a result, news outlets begin their shows with controversial, emotionally impactful events such as mass shootings and government policies before discussing less entertaining information such as local weather and traffic patterns. The intentional ordering of information by private news outlets demonstrates their willingness to manipulate emotions in order to retain viewers. While such manipulation is dangerous, what transforms news outlets from merely manipulative to wholly dishonest are their claims of acting solely with altruism. They frequently espouse that they help regulate the powerful and serve to spread freedom and knowledge. However, such claims are tainted by a layer of hypocritical dishonesty because their purpose is self-advertisement for the sake of profit. As a result, the privatization of news media not only perpetuates implicit emotional manipulation, but also allows these outlets to get away with more verbal, explicit manipulation. It may appear that private news supports freedom, but their monetary motives lead news outlets to perpetuate dangerously unchecked manipulation. So how do we solve such a latent but widespread problem? A potential solution may be to establish government-funded news outlets at the local level, which would receive a fixed yearly revenue, allowing the supply of money to have no influence on the outlet's freedom to criticize the government. More urgently, however, the first step for us is to spread awareness of this issue and ensure the public recognizes the subtle dangers of their news. Each of us must not only question the truthfulness of our news outlets, but also ask ourselves how we are influenced by the way news is presented to us. Thank you.